Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we'll look back at the results in the Barnet Sunday Football League. We'll be looking at the results from the cup action, including the big National Cup game between Highgate Albion and SC Dons. And we'll also be looking at the fixtures for this week, including fixtures in the London Cup, in the Essex Cup and in the Middlesex Cup as well. So starting off, we're going to run down the results in the Barnet League. 2 games in our Premier Division. AFC Oakwood dropping another 2 points, drawing 1-1 against Zaza, and the Wrong'uns drawing 0-0 against Gal All Stars in a mid-table clash. In the Championship, Horizon 2, AFTV 5. Bit of a nothing game really. The league has pretty much been decided. Second place has pretty much been decided, and we pretty much know who's bottom of the league. So the rest of the teams are just playing for like third place, fourth place at the moment in the Championship. In Division 1, AC Finchley 0, Mill Club de Football 5. AFC Rose us, we got a home walkover over Peckenspore. We were told about it an hour before kickoff as well. Manager James just said they've messaged and said they've only got 7 players, which is weird because you can actually play with 7 players. So some teams would rather take the loss than take a bigger loss. Comi Kabir losing 2-1 to Enfield United again. Enfield United getting the better of Comi Kabir by the odd goal. They've done it a few months back, beating them 3-2 in the league as well. So bit of a big win for Enfield United, continuing their good momentum this season. In Division 2, Anatolians beating Oakwood Reserves 3-2. Continental beating Northumberland Park Rangers. Grange Park beating AFC Edmonton, and Trent Park and Sopranos with an entertaining 3-3 draw. In Division 3, Southtop United and Whetstone FC having a double header. Southtop United picking up a 4-1 win in Game 1. Game 2 was a 1-1 draw. Cricklewood and North London Colts drawing 1-1. Locomotive Thunder losing 5-1 to top of the table Fireside. Highgate Albion thirds losing 3-2 at home against Brothered Cozzy. And Shentry losing 2-0 at home to Monia Youth. In Division 4, battle of 2 informed teams saw Nissi losing 5-1 at home to Underdogs. Barnet Salsa beating Arness Rangers 3-2. Camden FC losing 9-0 at home to Muswell Hill. And Highgate Albion Fourths beating London Orient 5-1. We also had Torfik losing 3-0 at home to Maida Villa. In Division 5, Northwest Wolves beating Roving Reporters, who unfortunately we heard the sad news of John Motson's passing. A very instrumental figure in the football game and in the Barnet League as well. He was one of the founding members of Roving Reporters. Also had a vested interest in them. So as the league, and my condolences to his family, and the league will be paying respects before this weekend's games in memory of him. NLR and North London Panthers having a double header. A lot of goals here. 4-2 to NLR in Game 1, and then putting 8 past North London Panthers in an 8-1 win in Game 2. Enfield Albion 1, Cognac Athletic 2. New Barnet 0, Armenian Youth Association 3. And Edmonton Rovers getting an away walkover over North Athletico. Division 6, EFNS beating Oakwood thirds 3-0. Interman Razor 24 beating Athletico Grammar 5-3. Mill Hill Club de Football seconds losing 3-0 at home to Pantera. Radlett Town losing 4-2 at home to Barillikspor. In the cup action, Panathinaikos 4, Park Roll 7. Toriano with a big shock over Memechik, 3-1 winners there. And we had our game of the week in the FA Sunday Cup. Highgate Albion 0, SC Dons 1. We're just going to run through the game. It was a very good game. As a neutral, I thought was fantastic. Highgate Albion, I think, dominated most of the first half. SE Dons really couldn't get their flow and their passing game going, especially in the midfield. They were trying to find their way, out of the box and out of their own half and just going long. And Highgate Albion, had a lot of the ball, had a lot of the territory as well. I thought Louis Remy for Highgate Albion was fantastic in the first half. I thought he was great. Some of his crosses as well caused a lot of problems for the SE Dons defence. But I think Highgate Albion didn't create the tangible chances that their territorial possession would show. Like they didn't create the big enough chances to show their dominance in that first half. And I thought the later on in the half, the more SE Dons grew into the game, they actually had the best chance of the first half, in my opinion. Nathan Palmer going through, good save by the keeper, and I think he got another one. I think it was a double save or it was a block. I thought that was the best half chance for both teams. Second half, same thing, but SE Dons, I think, had more grip of the game in the second half. They started to, get the ball forward, create chances, get into attacking situations. But saying that, Highgate Albion had a very big chance just before the goal. They hit the bar. Then the goal happened, a long punt up the field from Big G. Fantastic kick up the field. And then Jay Boogie getting inside of Ian Maitland's line. And once he got past him, Ian Maitland weren't catching him. Ian Maitland's a fantastic defender, but he's not the quickest. And, he just got there. Alex in the Highgate Albion goal did pretty well to, close down the angle and, shut Jay Boogie down. But the shot just about beat him, and it nestled in the corner of the net for the only goal of the game. SE Dons, I think they were the better team in the second half. I think Highgate Albion were obviously not creating the chances, the level of chances, the quality of chances that their possession in the first half, would have merited. But once it went 1-0, apart from a late penalty shout, Highgate Albion didn't really threaten. You could only see a second goal for the Dons coming. It didn't come in the end, but as I said, a fantastic advertisement for football, grassroots football as well. It was a fantastic occasion. A lot of people came out as well to support both teams, and both teams were given a good round of applause off the pitch, which they deserved because it was a fantastic affair. Moving on, we're going to look at now the London Challenge Cup results, Sunday Challenge Cup. We've got 3 out of the 4 semi-finalists in the London Sunday Challenge Cup. We've obviously got UTR taking on Highgate Albion this week. We had Bayswater shocking Kumasi 3-2, which means UTR are now the only hope for the SFL London in the London Cup. They've obviously got SE Dons in the National Cup. Hatch Lane with a very impressive 2-0 win over Heavy Hitters. And Olympia with a fantastic away win 4-1 against Grand Athletic. Fresh TV Sport actually covered the game as well, and they obviously showed how well Olympia played, and it was very much deserved. Obviously, we talked a lot in the last episode about how Olympia were gonna, handle this game and how they were going to approach this game and what the tactics will be. And I obviously mentioned the high press, the high energy from the front, and I really think it startled Grand Athletic. I think as you can see in the video, a lot of the balls, when they were defended by Grand players, were just coming back to Olympia defenders, or Grand strikers weren't getting the the support because their players had been pushed back by that impressive press. It was a fantastic performance for Olympia. They had a lot of the chances as well. I think the guy in the Grand Athletic goal was pretty good on the day. I don't think he could have done much about any of the goals, and he made a couple of very good saves as well. Yeah, I think people, wake up and look at what Olympia done and look at the caliber of players that they got, and the tactics as well that Steve, and the other members of the coaching staff employ. It's a very kind of unique style. A lot of teams don't have the quality of players and the engine of players to implement that kind of style, but it's very effective, especially against good teams as well, because you don't want good teams to get the ball to the midfielders, get the ball to the wingers and strikers, and allow them to advance the ball up the pitch very quickly. You want your defenders to be able to, win 75-80% of the battles, and the other rest of the time have like no one on them, have a free reign. And that's what Olympia were doing. When the ball was getting cleared to them, they were just on the ball, allowed, to have time, the defenders to pick out a pass. And yeah, it was fantastic. Great work from them. We're just going to run through the other London Cups. So Sunday Trophy semi-finals coming up in a few weeks' time. Yeni Bogazici of the Turkish League taking on AC Milano, and Croydon JFC taking on Brook Athletic. A couple of very interesting ties there. See who gets to the final. The London Sunday Junior Cup semi-finals have been set. AFC South London taking on Selhurst, who are, no, they're not the current champions, they're the champions from 2 seasons ago. And we've got Kensington Town taking on Docklands. This won't be the last we talk about Kensington Town, because we're moving on now to discuss the finals of the Middlesex Cup, finals and semi-finals of Middlesex Cup. So we're going to start off in the Premier Cup, where the final has been set. Semi-final this week. Obviously, last weekend we had Highgate Albion beating Grenfell Athletic 4-2. In the second semi-final, Heavy Hitters overcoming Highgate Albion reserves after extra time 4-2. Probably said 4-2 before, but so the final, 26th of March, Heavy Hitters taking on Highgate Albion. They have met in numerous cup competitions. They played in the Premier Cup and the Roger Jones Senior Challenge Cup. I believe both of them were semi-finals, but another occasion as they take on each other in the Middlesex Premier Cup final. In the Middlesex Junior Cup, CP Royals taking on Sheen Park Rangers. That game is actually the only game in the Middlesex Cups that will not involve a Barnet League team. Obviously, last season it was all Barnet League in them cups. But this season, the Junior Cup winner will not be from the Barnet League, as may the Sunday Junior Trophy as well, because we will have one Barnet League team in it, as Interman Reza will take on Armenian Youth Association in the first semi-final, and we also have Banstead Eagles taking on Hearts of Ted Lothian in the other. So there will be one Barnet League team in the semi-final, and there will also be one Barnet League team in the Intermediate Cup final, as North London Athletic take on Kensington Town. We told you they'd be back. North London Athletic beating Ryfield 3-0 in their semi-final last week. We're also just going to look now at the fixtures, this week's fixtures. Starting off in the Premier Division, one game, Park Royals taking on AFC Oakwood. AFC Oakwood need a win because they've been dropping too many points lately. And Highgate Albion, they're on their backs now, and they've got the games in hand and the ability to catch them now. So AFC Oakwood really need a win there. AFTV taking on Panda in the Championship. Panda, 0 wins in the league this season. And I believe the pressure's got to be on for them because, 0 wins in 2 league seasons back to back, and it's not looking good for them. In Division 1, AFC Rose taking on North London Athletic in a double header. Peckenspore facing Millwall Club de Football in a doubleheader, and Torriano taking on AC Finchley. In Division 2, AFC Oakwood Reserves taking on Sopranos, Grange Park facing Continental, and Anatolians taking on Northumberland Park Rangers. In Division 3, pair of games, Ammonia Youth taking on Whetstone FC, and South Tottenham United facing Shentry Athletic. In Division 4, AFC Muswell Hill taking on London Orient, Arness Rangers taking on Camden FC, underdogs facing Nissi again. That was the battle last week in the league. They play each other this week in the league as well. And Maida Villa taking on Highgate Albion Falls, who are looking to be a step closer to securing the league title. In Division 5, Edmonton Rovers taking on New Barnet, North London Panthers facing Coney-Hatch Athletic, Northwest Wolves taking on North Athletico, and it's a double header between Roving Reporters and NLR. NLR obviously very successful in their double header this week. How will they go against Roving Reporters? In Division 6, Atletico Grammar taking on Millwall Club de Football Seconds, Camden Town Athletic facing Radlett Town, AFC Oakwood Thirds taking on AFC Rosa, and EFNS taking on Pantera. In the cup action, and we have plenty of it, in the Roger Jones Senior Challenge Cup, Brotherhood Cosy taking on Northwest Wanderers, Gower All Stars taking on Heavy Hitters, Highgate Albion Reserves versus Trent Park, London Wednesday taking on Horizon, Torfic taking on Enfield United. In the Junior Challenge Cup, Highgate Albion Thirds taking on FC Cricklewood, and Barnet Salsa facing Barillickspor. In the Premier Cup, Olympia facing the Romans. In the Junior Cup, Fireside taking on North London Colts. The aforementioned London Sunday Challenge Cup match between Under the Radar and Highgate Albion should be a fantastic affair. Highgate Albion looking to bounce back from the disappointment of losing to SE Dons. Under the Radar still looking at a few trophies. They've still got the Kent Cup. They've still got, the SFL to look forward to. They've still got the SFL League Cup, and they've still got the London Cup as well. Should be a fantastic battle between two teams who are, at Sunday League level, very experienced. It should be a fantastic battle there. We also have the start of the Richard Martin Memorial Cup, Gadaris Town taking on AFC Edmonton. And we also talked about this earlier as well. We got the semi-finals of the Middlesex Sunday Junior Trophy, Inter Razor 24 taking on Armenian Youth Association. We just want to end with our Essex Cup look. We're going to just look at the Essex Premier Cup, just because I saw a tweet a few days ago from Hatch Lane. So I decided to check out, the draw for the the Essex Premier Cup, and look at, the fantastic representation for the Essex Corinthian League, and talk about mainly the growth in strength of it as well. Because a few years ago it was teams like Palmer's who were very much big in the Essex scene, but this season as well, if you look at the teams that are involved in the quarter-final draw for the Essex Sunday Premier Cup, 6 of the 8 teams are in the Essex Sunday Corinthian League as well. Got Barking Riverside, Flyhouse Athletic, Brook Athletic, Eastway Athletic, Hatch Lane and Beatty squad. A lot of talent in them, teams as well. The big game, obviously, Beatty's against Hatch Lane. You've got National Cup champions versus London Cup champions. They met a few months back. I think Beatty's won, but both teams are going to really be up for it. Both teams in decent form as well going into this game, and that should be a fantastic game. And you've still got a lot of talent in the other games as well. Brook Athletic versus Eastway Athletic should be fantastic. You've got a lot of, all of these teams can probably, believe that they can win this trophy, and that's the great thing about Sunday League at the moment. You've got so many teams that have the quality and the belief that they can go all the way, and I think that's probably, in my book, one of the special things at the moment about Sunday League football. That is the end of the show. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment on who you think is going to win the big game between Under the Radar and Highgate Albion, and I will see you in the next video.